In the heart of Africa, there is a forest called Ua, but this is not a forest like any other. The people say don't walk too deep into Ua, because snakes there live like humans. This forest is feared. Many don't go near. Elders whisper stories at night, and the forest calls you, where snakes live like a man. In this forest, snakes talk. They eat like humans, they build homes, and marry like people. They are not normal snakes. They are ancient, powerful, and full of secrets. And in that forest live two giant male snakes, tall like trees, strong like mountains. But these two snakes were strange. They refused to marry their own kind. Kay said, "We don't want to marry snakes. We'll only marry the most beautiful thing in the world." Far away from this forest, in the human kingdom of Luna, lived three close friends, Anna, Felix, and Mary. Anna and Felix were known in the whole kingdom as the most beautiful girls. People said their skin was like shining gold. Their eyes sparkled like morning stars. Wherever they passed, people stopped. Birds flew lower. Even wild animals came near just to look. When Anna and Felix walked by, people became silent. They were treated like queens, like goddesses walking on earth. They became proud. They said no to every man who asked for their hand in marriage. Even the rich farmer's son, Amika, was rejected. They laughed and said, "No man in this kingdom is rich enough for us. Okay, we want the richest, most powerful men in the whole world." But their third friend, Mary, was different. She was not beautiful. Some people even called her ugly, but she had a kind and humble heart. She did not think she was better than others. She accepted love from a simple farmer and got married. While Anna and Felix chased big dreams, Mary chose peace and kindness. Anna and Felix stayed single and proud. Every day they went to a far river to sing, dance, and play in the water. They didn't go to fetch water. They went there to enjoy themselves. The river was quiet and deep, like their own secret world. But one day something was watching them. A giant snake from the Ua forest came to the river to drink water. From far away, he saw something shining. Near the water, he moved slowly and quietly. And then he saw them, Anna and Felix. Their beauty shocked him. Their skin glowed like gold in the sunlight. Their laughter sounded like music. The snake's heart beat faster. He whispered to himself, "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." He hid behind a tree. He did not want them to see him. If they did, they would run in fear. So he listened. He heard Anna say, "Friend, let's go home. We'll come back tomorrow." When the girls left, the snake rushed back to the Ua forest. He told the other giant snake, "Brother, today I saw beauty with my own eyes. Not beauty like a snake. Beauty like a dream. To golden women by the river." The second snake did not waste time. "Tomorrow I must see them too," he said. The next day, the two giant snakes came to the river. Again, Anna and Felix were there, laughing and dancing. The snakes hid in the bushes, watching them. Their love for the girls grew. But they had a problem. They were not men. They could not talk to the girls like this. They decided to come to the river every day and listen. That way they would learn the girls' names, their dreams, their likes and dislikes. One day, the snakes heard Anna say proudly, "I will only marry a man who is powerful, kind, and beautiful," Felix added. "And I will only marry a man who is the richest and strongest in the world." The snakes became sad. They were only snakes. They needed help. Only the king of the snakes could give them the power to become humans. So they returned to the deep part of Ua forest, to the snake palace. They bowed before the snake king and said, "Please, we beg you, give us power to become men. We have found the women our hearts truly love. Let us go to them." But the king shouted, "No. The law is clear. Snakes may only become humans for important missions, not for marriage. Go and marry your own kind." The two snakes left the palace in sorrow, but they didn't give up. Every day they came back to the king, begging him with tears. Finally, the king looked at them and saw pain in their hearts. Said in a deep voice, "I will allow it. But you must promise if you marry them and have children, the children belong to us. You must return when your time ends. You are still part of the snake kingdom." The snakes agreed. The next day, Anna and Felix were walking home from the river. They saw two handsome men standing beside the road. Their skin was smooth, their faces shining like ripe mango. One said his name was John and the other Festus. The girls tried to ignore them. But then Anna stepped on a long nail. She screamed, "My leg! My leg!" Blood poured from her foot. John and Festus rushed over. John said, "We cannot carry you, but we can heal." He placed his hand on the wound. It closed up instantly. The bleeding stopped. Anna stood shocked. The girls looked at the two men with fear and wonder. "Who are you?" They thought. John and Festus smiled and replied, "We are the men you've been waiting for, the ones with everything in this world." Festus raised his hand. 4 white horses ran out from the bush. "Come with us," he said. The girls, still shocked, climbed on the horses. That night they brought the men home. They could not sleep. Their minds were full of fear and questions, but the men were calm. Festus looked into Anna's eyes and said, "Don't fear. I am like you. What you saw was a gift from God. I can do many things, but I am still human like you." Anna felt calm. She smiled. Festus asked softly, "Will you marry me?" She answered, "Yes, I already love you." But she didn't know. Her new husband was not a man. He was a snake in disguise. They danced. They sang. They married. The kingdom of Luna had never seen a wedding so grand. The drums beat like thunder. The flutes cried like birds. The people clapped, sang, and praised the two strange, rich, handsome men, John and Festus, who had healed the sick, brought peace to the land, and married the most beautiful women in the kingdom, Anna and Felix. The whole village said, "This is the hand of the gods." But no one knew the truth. Not even Anna. Not even Felix. Their husbands were not men. They were the 2 giant snakes from the feared UA forest. They were wearing human skin. The nights went by, moons passed, and their homes were filled with laughter. Festus and John became famous. Sick people came from far lands to be healed. Even women who could not have children for 10 years came, and they were blessed. Everyone loved them. But something strange happened. One day, the king's wife, who had been barren for many years, came to Festus and John. She said, "I want to carry a child. Heal me like you healed others." John and Festus tried. He prayed. They touched her belly, but nothing changed. Months passed. Still nothing. The king became angry. "You healed all my people, even old women and blind men, but not my wife." Festus replied gently, "Some things are not for us to change, Your Majesty." The king grew suspicious. He told his guards, "Follow these 2 men. Watch them closely. I want to know who they really are." The guards followed Festus and John for days. They found nothing. But one night they saw something no human should ever see. That night there was no moon. The sky was black. The air was cold. The 2 men left their homes and walked into the forest, deep into the shadows. The guards followed quietly, hiding behind trees. And then it happened. Festus removed his clothes. John did the same, but their bodies did not look like men anymore. Their skins turned dry and rough. Their eyes became yellow. Their arms twisted and dropped. Long, thick tails began to grow from their backs. Their tongues hissed. Their bones cracked. Their necks stretched. In minutes, the handsome men were gone. 2 giant snakes stood tall in the forest, their true forms. The guards ran back to the palace in fear. They could not speak. They shook like leaves in the wind. When the king heard their report, he fell to the floor, his eyes wide, his mouth open. "Snakes! My people are sleeping with snakes." He sent messengers to the elders, the priests, and the village herbalists. They all gathered that night. The old priest said, "We have made a mistake. These are not men. These are spirits in human skin. They have come from Yue. That forest is cursed. These women have married beasts." The king ordered, "Bring the women. We must save them before it is too late." But Anna and Felix refused to believe the truth. They screamed, "You are jealous. You don't want us to be happy. Our husbands are better than any man in this kingdom." The priest said, "If they are truly men, let them drink this holy water." When John and Festus were brought forward, the water was given to them. They looked calm. They smiled. But the moment the water touched their lips, smoke came out of their mouths. Their skins started to peel. Their eyes turned red. Their hands became claws. Their bodies shook like thunder was passing through. People screamed before anyone could move. The two snakes changed in front of the whole village. Their human skins fell off. Their true snake forms appeared, long, giant, and terrible. Women fainted. Children ran. Men dropped their weapons in shock. Anna and Felix screamed and fell to the ground. They could not believe their eyes. Their husbands were not men. They were monsters. They were liars. They were snakes, the priest shouted. They have broken the law of the world. Snakes must not live as humans. They must return to where they came from. But the snakes did not run. They hissed loudly and said, "We were given permission by our king. These women are our wives. They belong to us." The elders and the priest joined hands and began to chant. The sky turned dark. Thunder rolled. The earth shook. A giant voice came from above, the voice of the Snake King from the Yue. Forest, enough. It said, "My sons have gone too far. They were warned. They must return now." The two giant snakes looked at their wives one last time. Anna and Felix wept. Their hearts broke. Festus said, "We loved you, truly, even though we were snakes." John added, "Our love was not a lie, but our form was." With that, lightning struck the ground. The two snakes disappeared in fire and smoke. They were gone. The village was silent. Days passed. Anna and Felix stayed inside, full of shame and sadness. They had been blind. They had chased beauty and power, and it led them into the arms of snakes. Soon their bellies began to grow. They were both pregnant. The priest warned the village, "The children do not belong here. They are part of the Yue kingdom. They will bring danger." But it was too late. When the babies were born, they looked human, but their eyes glowed like gold. Their tongues were forked. Their skin was warm like fire. The night they were born, a wind blew through the village. It whispered into the ears of Anna and Felix. "Remember our deal?" the wind said. That same night, the babies disappeared from their beds. Taken by the spirits of the Yue forest, no one ever saw them again. From that day on, the people of Luna never walked near the river. Again, the forest of Yue became darker than before, and the tale of the two proud women who married snakes was told for generations. Some say their cries still echo by the river at night. Some say their hearts are still lost in the forest. But all say the same thing: beauty is not always a blessing, and love is not always human.